Hi, I'm Adam Lewis with DeerIQ.com and the DeerIQ podcast. And in this video, we're going to look at and talk about the indictments brought against C.J. Alexander that just got released, and really what those mean in general, but then look at some specifics of the charges, the 23 charges. And there's some really interesting things in there, and then I'll give a couple thoughts before we go here. So, first of all, this huge 18-point buck that's been part of this saga, we've all been wondering what's going on. They finally came out with an indictment against C.J. Alexander with 23 charges. Also, there's 3 other individuals that were charged, his sister and 2 of his friends. And they have less charges, but they still all have charges. So this is what the Attorney General, Dave Yost, said in a news release. Blinded by greed, the defendants set their sights on fame and fortune while disregarding basic hunting regulations. Instead of the cover of Field and Stream, their notoriety will be in a booking photo. So that's what the Attorney General said. And basically, what the DNR is saying they have evidence of, and this was a grand jury, so an actual jury of people looked at this evidence and said, yeah, there's enough evidence here to charge these individuals. So that's what this means, which carries a lot of weight. But basically, the DNR is saying they have evidence that CJ took it about 10 miles away, took this deer where he did not have permission, and then he moved it back to his sister's, and that his 2 friends, Corey and Zachary Honert, helped him cover that up and actually do it. And his sister lied about where it was taken and helped him with the staging of it. So that's the general overview of these charges. But when you really read the report from the court, the actual indictment and the charges, which are very detailed, it's pretty interesting. So I want to highlight a few of those actual charges against CJ. So the first charge is for jacklighting, which is just spotting at night with a spotting light. Jacklighting at a specific church, Cornerstone Baptist Church at 225 Rudolph Street. Supposedly they have evidence of that. Charge number 2, November 7th, 2022 at Landrum Oil Incorporated with 49.98 acres. Supposedly this is where he hunted illegally and did not have permission. And there's several charges around that particular thing. This is where it gets interesting to me. Charge number 5. January 7th, 2023, Landrum Oil Incorporated, the same place, which we'll see he supposedly took the 18-point buck on November 7th. January 7th, he supposedly, allegedly, illegally hunted again and took an 8-point there as well that was 150 inches. So he didn't have permission, supposedly, and did not report it either. And this, they're saying, is a restitution fee of $4,625 for the 8-point. So supposedly, he went back after all this stuff happened with the 18-point, after it got confiscated even, he went back to this same land and shot another deer, an 8-point. Charge number 11, LT Land Development. He supposedly trespassed and stole from Brad Day an SD card. So he just took an SD card, and this land, I believe, is bordering the Landrum Oil Incorporated. Charge 14th, November 10th, and I did say 7th earlier, but it's supposedly the 10th when he took the 18-point buck. He hunted at Landrum Oil and LT Land Development as well, and took the 18-point buck. And they're saying the restitution for this, because they do it by score, so based on the score of this buck, will be $35,071.73. And then the last one to highlight, and there's obviously other ones in there too, is charge number 17, which claims that he took the deer and the guts to his sister, Christina's, to stage it there. And obviously the other charges for the other individuals are based around basically helping him to do that. So that's the indictment, and those are the charges, and you can read about them. I'll link them below, both the newsletter from the AG, but also the actual indictment themselves. You can read all of them. Okay, so what does this mean, and what are a couple thoughts of mine? First of all, the letter from the AG says, and I think this is important to remember, the people are innocent until proven guilty. So these 4 people will have a day in court. they will have their own legal representation, and the prosecutors will have to bring evidence that they have of these things. I'm not sure what the exact evidence is. You know, like, what do they actually have to show he was spotlighting in this one church on this date? Do they have a picture of his license plate? What actually physical evidence do they have? And also all the other things. What actual physical evidence do they have that he took this deer on this land? Like, they're going to have to prove that beyond reasonable doubt to a jury to get convicted. I think it is odd that the AG, the Attorney General, did comment so strongly before a trial about what he says they're basically guilty, right? I think that's a little odd. I don't know that political people in power should be saying people are guilty, basically, and then saying, oh, they're innocent until proven guilty in the same document. So that's a little odd to me. I will say, though, it does look pretty bad when a grand jury comes out with all these things, because from what I can tell in my research, about 95% of grand jury indictments come back as convictions. So there's not a real strong chance that CJ will get out of this. We'll have to see, again, about what actual evidence they have and what actually did happen, and we'll see that in the courtroom. So what are your thoughts? I know you probably have a ton of them. Put them in the comments below. And subscribe and like this so you don't miss any of our other great deer hunting content. We have a podcast as well that really gets into how to be a greater deer hunter to help you up your deer hunting game. And I'll see you on the next Deer IQ video.